So, hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I've actually not really seen you this morning at all today, so it's nice to see you.
Yep, I agree.
I agree. Your hair looks good again.
Thank you. So does yours.
Thank you. See, I was waiting for the compliment. It's a bit like, remember Granny, she used to say, like, you can never ask for something at the table. You always have to be like, would you like something? And then you wait for the other person to be like, no, thank you. But would you? Same with the compliment. Okay, so today there's a topic I've been wanting to really talk about.
Okay, hit me.
And so this came about, true story. I was having a chat with a fellow sort of nutrition fanatic, and we kind of came onto the topic of really, I mean, it started with a concept called intuitive eating.
Okay, tell me about
Right. And intuitive eating is a really interesting concept. It's very much about introspection. So it's about looking inwards and tuning into your own body to know sort of when your hunger cues are, when your fullness cues are.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes you having to really like look inwards.
Okay.
Okay. But I was saying to her, you know, one of the reasons why, and I do try to instill a little bit of that practice within my patients.
Okay.
But imagine being so bloated and feeling so uncomfortable that it's like you can't listen to yourself. And so that's one of the things that I work with, right? Is like treating bloating or discomfort or bowels and gastric and things like that. But what is so
You're like
interesting,
a poop professional.
dude, I talk about poo, and this is no joke, every day.
Mm-hmm. I know you're a poop professional.
Yeah, I'm a poop professional. What are you trying to get?
It's your job.
It's my job. I find it fascinating though, so it's all good.
Okay.
Everyone has their own shit. This is mine.
No pun intended.
Obviously. Anyway, but when I was doing a sort of reading around intuitive eating and things like that, something that came up, which is what I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
Which is people who have a higher degree of intuitive eating
Mm-hmm.
have better, I think, life satisfaction, basically.
Okay.
And I find that as a concept like so incredibly interesting, because really, what does that stem from? From my point of view, I think, okay, intuitive eating, that's like you're listening to yourself. You're listening to like your gut. You've got that gut instinct.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that take, right? Is that there's like, it's trusting yourself. It's like being able to like tune into yourself. Like I always imagine a little radio and you're like, nee, 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 and you can actually like listen into what's happening and then actually go through with it based on off of that instinct solely, you know?
Is that intuitive eating?
And, you know, we talk about gut instinct and it's like, you know, you get butterflies in your stomach and like we feel so much through our stomach.
Yeah.
But I think so few people tap into that.
Yeah. I mean, we've spoken about intuitive eating in the past. Obviously, you've taught me that concept. I didn't really know about it.
Well, that's quite a diet specific
I
thing.
imagine. And it's an actual term, isn't it? Or it's an actual...
It's a practice.
Practice, okay.
It's a practice. It's and it has like 10 kind of elements to it, which is a lot about like rejecting sort of standard diet approach, you know, making peace with food and things like that. But ultimately,
what is the kind of like highlights of it as a beneficial practice to take it just from a dietary point of view?
It's from a dietary point of view, it's about being able to eat based on your instinct.
Okay.
Versus having the external world dictate what you should be eating.
Okay. So it's making personal choices for yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess so. But it's choices, but it's like, I mean, everyone's got to eat. So it's not a choice of whether like you eat or you don't. Well, it is, but it's sort of, it's telling yourself, okay, how many times have you caught yourself being like, well, I need to eat now because it's so o'clock? Like it's this time.
I don't really eat at set times, but I mean, I do, I suppose, breakfast, lunch and dinner, but no, I eat when I'm hungry.
Right. So you're actually a terrible person to do this example with, because I think you have really good intuitive eating.
Well, am I a terrible person because I don't eat? I'm
No,
not
because you're
following your
supposed to say,
process.
oh yeah, like sometimes I eat every day at 1:00.
Oh no, I never do that.
No, I know, because you are, but you have always been a naturally very intuitive person.
So I know you've said that to me before. I looked into this a little bit, just in terms of, because we interchange, first of all, we interchange instinct, intuition, and introspection.
Okay.
All the time.
Which is I've basically just
You've
done.
Just done all of that.
Like 5 times.
Yeah, you've made like a salad of it. And they are different things, but we interchange the words thinking they kind of mean the same thing.
Yeah.
So first of all, instinct is primitive survival. So I don't think it really actually applies to what you're talking about, apart from the fact we eat to live. Yeah. But in the sense of it keeps you safe. That's what instinct does. And it's probably quite similar for most people, in the sense that you cross the road, a car's coming, and you jerk back. That's instinct. Most people would do that, no matter who they are, where they come from. You know. Yeah. So that would be instinct. Intuition, which is what you're talking about, is mostly based on experience.
Okay.
And emotional intelligence.
So I've experienced this before. I've learned from my previous experiences.
And I suppose there's definitely a subconscious level to it as well. But it's kind of, there is an element of that will be unique to each of us based on our life experience, the way that we've processed information, you know, how we view the world, etc. And then introspection is looking inwards. Yeah. But it's actually quite a reflective, conscious thing to do. It's not as subconscious as, say, intuition.
Okay. So I guess this would be introspection to an extent.
So I suppose your conversation, and so interestingly, the more you practice introspection, i.e. questioning yourself, reflecting, and the more you do that in like a calm environment, as in a kind of not a stressful, fight, flight, instinctive way, then the better your intuition will be. Yeah. Do you see how that works?
So the more introspection, I guess, is the practice.
Yeah, because it's reflective.
It's
like, why do I do what I do? What do I feel inside my body? How, you know, what does that lead to? You can practice it, strengthen it, question it.
But it's almost like introspection is the practice. Intuition is kind of the muscle that you're building.
Result,
yeah.
Because it's kind of quietly happening in the background.
Yeah, but in order to build on it, you kind of want to do more introspection.
Yeah, I would say that,
so that it's not sort of purely natural. Yeah. So I find that what I find so interesting about this, though, is how you can then correlate it to the other aspects of your life, right? To your quality of your life. The fact that your ability to judge, you know, when you want to eat, how much you should eat, that kind of is a bit of a yellow canary in terms of, you know, other aspects of your life and your ability to listen inwards. Yeah. And trust your gut.
So, okay, for example, we're taking food. With food, for example, you have so people talk about the brain and gut connection, and they say sometimes the gut is a second brain. Yes. Actually, that's incorrect, because there are neurons in your gut, but they're motor neurons. So it's not like it basically pushes food out.
No, but I think it means more in terms of like the nervous connections, because there are almost as many as in the brain.
No, and so then the reason there's that connection, which there is a genuine connection, it's the vagal nerve system.
Okay, so there's actually 3 connections.
Okay.
You've got vagal nerve, which is they call the motorway, because it's a direct connection between your gut and your brain. You also have antibodies that do communicate between your brain and your gut, and hormonal.
Yeah.
So you have hormones.
The serotonin that you create in your
Yes
gut.
and no. So yes, you produce like 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut, but it doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier.
No.
So it actually doesn't impact your brain directly. But there are lots of other hormones that are produced and that will have like a direct impact. So there's actually 3 connections between the gut and the brain that we know of.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, your gut is telling and actually the communication happens from the gut up to the brain far more than the brain down to the gut. So for example, with your example, I'm hungry. It's your gut telling your brain, like, feed, I need, feed, I need to be fed. And they need to be fed. I suppose then you can tap into your intuition, like your introspection, going, what does my body need? How am I, like, what shall I feed it? Like, question that requirement, and then you can start kind of, I suppose, stretching your muscle of introspection and intuition.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are on like how to best practice that, because the whole intuitive eating concept, it starts, well, personally, what I quite like to do is, and it's interesting that you mentioned introspection is something that should be done when it's like when you're quiet, when it's relaxed and you're sort of away from distractions, because that's actually one of the first things I get people to do is like eat in silence. Eat in silence. Don't look at your phone. Don't read a book. Don't watch a film or whatever. Just pure silence for 1 to 2 meals in a week.
And why is that, though? It's because you want calmness. You want to be not agitated by things around you.
Yeah. And I go back to this radio analogy. Like I believe that your gut is constantly sending you signals. The problem is we have learnt to dull them down for whatever reasons. Like, I'm too busy to be eating right now. I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm not going to listen to my hunger signals. I'm eating too quickly, so I'm not going to have time to respond to my fullness signals. Like, the world is distracting you, so you cannot pick up on those. And they're quite quiet signals. They're sort of, they're a little bit in the background.
Intuition is quiet, right?
Yeah, but you want to raise the volume. And the way I think you do that is by, if you dull down everything else and you start listening to it, then you'll become more acute at responding to it. Already you have to figure out, what am I listening to?
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're trying to listen to, if you don't know what you're trying to pick up on, then it's very hard to do it when you're being distracted.
Yeah.
But I think...
And you think most people that you work with, that is the first step that they need to... I
mean, but it's honestly, it's something that it's through some reading, it's through, doing a bit of research, but that's kind of in a practical term. I think that's something that
So I would also add to that then, I think, is if you want to create a calm environment, activate that vagal nerve in the sense that, because that's the major connection in the nervous system side, which is essentially the calm environment. So then you can look at practices as how to, breathing is one of them. Yeah. So I suppose like slowing down, breathing maybe before you start eating, whilst you're eating, consciously chewing, all of these things, because then it's like you're in a calm state. Of course, the food choices that you make is really important. I read actually recently that laughing is actually a really, really good way of activating your vagal nervous system.
Really?
Yeah. Belly laughing.
So does that, like, when I make you laugh, you're belly laughing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like genuine laughing?
Yeah.
What are the different types of laughing?
Oh, no, I suppose it could, when it's like belly laughing, it's like a really like,
Okay.
deep embedded laughter.
Okay. Okay. So interesting. I mean, it's hard to get someone to laugh.
No, but I suppose it's about all these different things that you can then keep an eye on throughout your day or throughout your week, in order, because if you do that, if you manage to have a really regulated nervous system whilst practicing introspection, then you've got like the best mixture in order to then tap into your intuition, which is what you're trying to do, essentially.
And so,
another one, cold plunges.
What, before you go and have lunch?
No. But I'm saying if you did that on a daily basis, a quick cold shower, or like splash your face with cold water.
It improves your vagal nerve.
Exactly, it improves. And the other one, which is really interesting, other than exercise, is tapping, facial tapping.
Is that something you need to be taught though by like a professional?
No, I mean, I think it's part of where the nerves are. You can do some tapping. Maybe there's I'm sure professional ways of doing it, but I don't think you can harm yourself by teaching yourself to do it. In the same way as touch, and massaging, like having these kind of like motions that apparently regulates your vagal nerve system. So if you kind of look at it, the whole picture, then you're calming your nervous system, you are consciously practicing introspection, and then you should, over time, be able to tap into your instincts better. Your intuition.
Your intuition, not instincts. Yeah, your intuition.
Because your instincts, you have them anyway, they're survival mechanisms.
Okay. So I think the reason why I think this topic to me is just like so powerful is because trusting yourself, and like I think there is an element of you have to start building like the trust that you will listen to this, that you will hear it, that you will have those feelings, and I think when it comes to looking at how that then links to quality of life, or like happiness scale or contentment ratings, I just find that really like absolutely incredible. And and the reason why I then go full circle back with like bloating, if you feel horrible inside, it's a bit like someone asking you to concentrate on something, and when you've got a migraine, it's just impossible. You're kind of like, you're trying to focus, but really it's sort of,
it's like a blockage to your inner source. Yeah. I mean, I suppose I don't know how I would do that from a medical point of view, because obviously I'm not a doctor, but I can imagine why if you have like lots of tummy issues, then it would probably stop you from like tapping into your intuition. But it doesn't mean that you can't be introspective, because you can always do that, and acknowledge like, oh, I feel really bloated. Why might that be? Have I been, question what you've been doing, what you've been eating, what your stress levels, everything. And then maybe it allows you to have bigger, understanding of why that is the case.
That's true.
And then through doing that reflective work and that questioning, you may then lead yourselves to like answers which bring out actions which then allow you to change that. Sequence of events. Because your body really, really is telling you so much, and you're not hearing it, or you're not.
This is exactly it.
Yeah, but I mean, this is then okay. So, for example, how many times do you stop? You need to pee, but you don't go and pee because you're like, I'm doing something. That's your body saying, go and pee. Like, relieve yourself.
Agree.
Like, I'm just going to run to, the bus, and then I'm going to pick up my kid, and then you're like, I've been needing to pee for like 2 hours. That's really bad, because the more you do that, the more you disconnect from your body.
Exactly.
And we constantly do it all the time. It's practically like saying like, I have a niche and I'm not going to scratch it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas actually, if you start with small things, like every single time you need to pee, you don't put it off, you go and pee.
Yeah.
Every time you need to do something like scratch an itch or etc., you do that because you want to create that connection between your mind and your body as strong and as I suppose like intuitive as possible. Yeah. But we're the ones that cut it. Our children have it.
Yeah. Well, that's why they wear nappies for a whole long time.
Exactly.
Because we're
teaching them afterwards control over their body, but ultimately before that, they have that connection totally.
Yeah. And I think I actually think what is very interesting is I do think that you and I, naturally, we came from the opposite spectrum of this.
Why?
So I've always thought that you were always naturally not instinctual, introspective.
Mm.
And it's funny because growing up, I remember just always thinking like, oh my gosh, Ollie always lands on her feet. Like you're always quote unquote lucky. You always kind of land on your feet. You always manage to find like something that works out, or the right route, or the right direction.
Mm.
And I actually think, with a lot of reflection, I think that's a big part, because I think you've always been someone who's quite instinctively led. Not instinctively, sorry, like intuitively led.
Yeah, it's hard for me to answer that, actually. I don't really know, unless you have examples.
Yeah, so many. So, for instance, I think like when you went to university, like I don't remember you like obsessing for years over it.
No, I had a friend. No, I remember so clearly. I had a friend of mine who was going to that university, and he drove me there on his opening day because he was like, oh, I'm going out of London, and do you want to come? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go and have a look. And whilst he was in his like interviews and lectures and stuff, kind of intro things, I sat it was a really sunny day, and I sat in the main courtyard. Yeah. And I like sat there and I was like, yeah, this is good enough. Like, I think this is going to be quite cool, actually. I quite like it. Yeah. And so I just used that as my in university, put my lid. Now, I'm not going to say that's a really good idea for everything to do. Like, I do think that one thing I'm teaching myself is to prepare a little bit better. Sometimes I just don't prepare that much.
But it served you well. I mean, I guess...
Well, you don't know what you don't know. I could have gone to Cambridge.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Oxford.
Yeah.
I just missed out on that opportunity.
Yeah, the scholarships, they'd finished giving out the scholarships.
Because so potentially I haven't tapped into my highest potential.
I mean, that singing scholarship that you could have got.
Yeah. See, that's another. See, I missed out on the choir.
I think the choir kicked you out. I don't think you missed out on it. I don't think it was there.
Never got in. I mean, actually, do you know, it's really devastating. I auditioned twice as a 11-year-old child, and both times I got rejected. Didn't even, they didn't even pretend.
There was no like, thank you for your application. Yeah. They were like, no. Well, do you remember I took private singing lessons, and then the teacher asked mum to stop paying her.
It's not gonna. No way! I didn't know this.
But this was after she made me perform "I Feel Pretty" in front of the whole assembly,
and then she was like, "No way!" And then she was like, "Stop paying me." She felt so guilty that she was taking mum's money.
Taking money.
I didn't know this. Oh my God, Glenbo. This
It's actually scarred me in a, I guess, positive way, but
I bet mum didn't sugarcoat that. She was like, she does not think you're a good singer.
She was like, she's French. You are not going back next week.
Yeah. Mum was like, we're not a musical family. No. Yeah, I think we're kind of tone deaf in the family, I would say.
I think instinctively that was... Actually, I should have had the instinct to jump out of that.
No, because you're a child. I think it's different.
That was survival. That was...
Jump out. Yeah, okay.
Like moving car, assembly, I still know the words. Like, that is how
traumatic that experience. Traumatic. Well, I can't. So the song that I chose, to be fair, which is quite high level for my choir audition, was "Here I Am, Lord." Have you heard that? It's really high. It's really high pitched. And they were like, no. So as a result, I pivoted into the string group. So I learned guitar. And it was a string group. It was me and one other girl who'd also not gone into a choir. And we actually only got to grade 1 though. But we made the string group.
You made the string group?
Yeah, I created it from scratch.
Wow, you're so industrious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for ages I put that on my CV as well. Created the string group. You know, when they're like, how have you
therapist
demonstrated
initiative?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
But yeah, so
because actually, so this is not for us, but for other people who are vocally talented, it's also another way of activating your vagal nervous system is by singing, chanting, singing. You know, the ohms that you do in yoga and stuff.
Now, do you have to be a good singer for it to work?
No. But I suppose if you really want to like maximize, you take a cold shower and you sing in the shower or something. That's like a really...
Maybe that's why people sing in the shower. Yeah. It's like calming.
You can go, I feel pretty in the shower with cold water.
Oh, so pretty. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not going to. That's just, I can't.
Try it. I dare you to try it for a week.
Sing in my shower. Yeah, I'll do that. Just not in front of cameras.
No. But just and see how if it does help your nervous system.
So my traumatic experience. But
anyway, that's how I chose my university.
So that's how you chose your university by not getting into the choir and missing out on your scholarships. But yeah, no, I mean, other examples of like your ability to introspect is things like, I know I've picked you up on so many times, but even when you eat, you'll always like pick out, or you'll be very specific. You'll be like, nah, like the ratio of tomatoes and onions in this is not great. So you'll like exclude a few onions. I'm
not that mathematic about it.
No, but I think you're very much like, no, I just don't feel like this.
Yeah, I definitely say that to myself.
Yeah.
All the time. If I don't fancy
I know it drives
something.
Me nuts.
But equally, like I will have these things where I don't take, as you know, there's like no food groups that I exclude.
No.
I have like fizzy drinks, I have cookies, biscuits, but it's only whenever I feel like them. And actually when you tap into that, you realize like, first of all, it's not as much as you think.
No.
But I will genuinely like be like, I really fancy a really big salad, or I really fancy a digestive biscuit, or I really and I just you eat it, and then the minute you realize, you listen to it and you go, well, I don't fancy this anymore, and then you don't eat a whole packet of it. Because I think a lot of people that do say open a packet of biscuits and they're like, oh, I can't do that because I'm going to eat the whole thing. It's because they've just gone into autopilot at one point.
And then we go back to the dumbing down those signals. Because the signals go both ways, right? They'll tell you when you're hungry, but they also tell you when you're full. And they'll tell you when you're like, I've had enough. Yeah. Do you remember when Mum was like, the Pret almond croissant?
Yeah.
She was like, 1 is really good. 2 is too many.
Yeah.
And it's like she didn't tap into that sort of, after 1, like I'm good. And then where I was going with this is this is something I had to learn. So I don't think learn or unlearn or relearn, whichever way you kind of want to see it. But I don't remember from a young age, like really having those signals loudly. And I, in my later years, had to sort of retune into myself and retune into my hormone signals. And like, okay, what do I really... Literally yesterday, I walked into Lidl. There's a new Lidl next to the flat. It's amazing. Walked into Lidl and it smells so good. Like their bakery section, they do it on purpose.
Of course
I think they have
do.
Like fans that like waft it into the street.
It is, yeah.
So I was like, oh my gosh, suddenly I feel like a pastry. I don't know why.
You went in.
I literally stood in front of it for probably about 10 minutes and I was like, I actually don't fancy this. Like it's not what I want right now. Like maybe at another time or a different time. And so I ended up walking out without buying anything. That is something that I have to like retune into on a regular basis.
But how do you do that then?
I quieten down the environment. I'm like, Lidl's a busy environment. There's lights, there's smells and stuff. So it's really about going, I mentally see myself like looking in and be like, is this something that I really want? Not need, not, do I actually want this?
Yeah.
And then and this is why I usually find, if you find that you've got indecision, then it's probably that you don't really want it. Like if for instance, if you're in front of like an ice cream shop and everyone's like, let's get an ice cream. And you're like, oh, should I get this one or this one or this one?
Yeah.
If you've got indecision, it's probably that you're like, well, no, you just don't really feel like one. Versus when you want something, you're like, no, I want the cookies and cream with the mango, and that's exactly what I want right now.
Cookies and cream and mango?
I don't know. Like, give it a go.
No.
It's like creamy and then like a little bit sharp.
No. That's a really poor choice.
Cookies and cream and coconut. Oh,
yeah, that could be okay. That could be okay. With a biscuit.
With a biscuit in a cup, because the cones, they always get soggy. But yeah, so I don't know. It's a, and I do find,
to be honest with you, I think I need to like check in a little bit with myself, because I don't know that I would do the same process if I were.
But it's a learn. For me, I feel like you have had it more naturally and more something.
But this is the question, really. Is it a natural thing, or is it a...
That's so interesting. Also, I think since becoming a mum, you have less time. I mean, I've heard you say much more, oh, I just didn't have time to eat today. And when you're kind of run off your feet and you've got a million things to do, that, you know, you do go into that mode of like you dumb down your signals, because you're like, I just don't have time. Yeah, but that's
not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. That's what I mean. So I wonder if there's an element of like just relearning or retuning back in, because the last few months it's been harder to tune in than usual.
Yeah, maybe I could try and be a bit more conscious about it. I suppose also the other thing, okay, big one is like, don't go to the store hungry.
Oh,
in terms of
big mistake.
That's, I can imagine that is not a great idea.
Don't go to a restaurant hungry.
No.
I know that's so counterintuitive, but like I say to all my patients, like, have an apple about 20 minutes before you go to a restaurant, because you will throw yourself on the breadsticks and the bread bin, and you're not actually going to enjoy your meal much more.
The other thing I would say is I always think as well, when I'm looking at food, you know, that I love, that I'm eating, and then I go into that, I know I'm not full anymore. And like everyone, you think, have a bit more, until you're... One thing I always say to myself is, there is more of this. Like, and next day, another day, like there will... If I want pizza tomorrow, I'll just have it tomorrow. Instead of filling myself up so much tonight that I feel uncomfortable, I'll just order a pizza tomorrow or get a burger tomorrow. And lo and behold, the next day you don't fancy it. Yeah. But I just think we're so fortunate. It's not about, because I actually also hate wasting food. Yeah. I'm not at all a food waster, but I just don't really understand the like overindulging. There's in that mindset, basically you're thinking there isn't enough of this anymore.
What do you call that? It's
scarcity.
Scarcity. I always think sufficiency. Scarcity.
Yeah. And I just don't operate that way at all. I'm like, if I really fancy it tomorrow, I'll have it tomorrow then.
But I think that's something you've taught me a lot. And
it is certainly a mindset. Some people feel like there is just not enough of everything, and that could be like relationships, money, health, you know, material things. And they're like, oh, if she has it, I won't have it. If he has it, I can't have it. Whereas actually, we're literally in a world full of crap and stuff, and I think there's plenty of everything. It's certainly not because someone else has it that you can't have it. But I think it's just, I think that in my head. So when it comes back to food, definitely there's enough food to go around.
You have just, without knowing what intuitive eating really is or having researched it, you've already like spoken about 4 of the 10 key pillars of intuitive eating.
Oh, have I?
Yeah. Scarcity mindset. Yeah. Listening to your, like, respecting your hunger and your fullness.
It's like bubbling out of me.
Yeah. Seriously, quietening down like the environment. These are all very much like these principles.
So you'd go through these principles with your clients?
You kind of go through them and you talk about them, and it's also about not vilifying food. You also mentioned how you don't cut out any food groups. There's no never. Good or bad, right?
I also actually notice I go through phases. People who go like cut things out, I think they crave them, because then it's saying to yourself no, and that is like how much do we want things that we can't have?
But then this is where we circle so perfectly back to trusting yourself, because a lot of people, when they deprive themselves of a craving or something like that, it's because they don't trust that they can stay within the guidance or the guidelines of that. Okay. So it's like, it's the Pringles thing, you know, once you pop, you can't stop. Yeah. That's kind of the perception. And for a lot of clients that I've had, it's definitely been the case where they're like, if I get a biscuit, I'm having the packet.
No, I get that. I definitely get that. And it's better not to have them at home. Just don't buy it.
Right. So then that
makes it easier to override.
It becomes easier to override because you don't have that. But also, I think this is what tapping into that whole, there's a loss of trust. You don't trust yourself to do, to have a couple and then stop. And you're not listening to yourself in terms of, but I don't need to finish like the whole packet. Like the packet will still be there tomorrow. It's not a good or a bad thing. I can have them at a different time. I don't have to kind of go through it all now. So it's a really interesting, but I can definitely see and I appreciate how much that really speaks to also overall happiness. Because I think if you can trust yourself, if you can look inwards, and if you can tell yourself, the feelings that I'm having are for a good reason, and so I'm going to listen to them, I can definitely see how then that breeds like a healthier, overall happier life.
Yeah. I mean, it really, really talks to me in a way which is try so deeply to connect your body and your brain, and then you'll harbor that trust.
Yeah.
And then you will be able to make decisions that work for you.
Yeah.
Because the more you dissociate them, the more there's like there's the kind of motor and then the machine.
Yeah.
And then the motor and the machine are just like going in different directions.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to get them to work together.
Yeah.
Whereas if the motor and the machine are working together, God, that's actually I just made that up. That's actually quite a good way of putting it. Then you're more likely to go in the same direction in a way more peaceful, easy way, because you're not trying to like constantly get them to do what you want to do. Because as you know, willpower can easily be overridden by
willpower. I think it's something that super fits healthy people. If it's something that you're wanting to work on, because you said it's something potentially.
Check notes.
Just do like a couple of meals in the next week, 2 or 3 meals in complete silence.
Okay.
Silence, no phones, no nothing. Like, remember, what's your mouth feeling? How many colors are on your plate? What can you smell? What can you taste? And at the point where you feel full, not full, but where you feel satisfied, but not like overly full, like just stop and reflect, like how much of my plate did I eat? How much is still left over on my plate, right? Like all those little things, it's just data that you're just going to build up, and then you build up that bank so that you can build that intuition.
Okay.
So is that something you think you can try?
Yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah?
It's a dream for me to eat in silence. On my
when
own,
you get the
with
opportunity.
no noise.
But yeah, and it's something that can help you to just start tuning back in.
That is actually something really bad I do, is I eat in front of TV quite a lot.
We are so many people. We all do.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you're at your desk and you've got half a minute and you don't want to be in front of an email list or to-do list. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to put a screen and you're going to watch that, right? It's just so easy. It's a way of tuning out.
But you want to tune in.
There you go.
You want to tune in. Okay.
Put the volume up on that internal radio.
And you are going to sing in the shower.
And I have to sing in the shower.
I feel pretty.
Oh my gosh. My poor neighbours.
And no, but not too loud. You don't have to be loud. And also a little bit of a cold shower bit at the end.
I'll try. Yeah. I will try. I can't guarantee every day, but I will try a cold shower with singing. It might help with the singing.
Okay. Yeah.
Or the singing will help with the cold shower.
Or you can just do like your chanting if you want.
I think I need to bring I Feel Pretty back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one needs a revival.
Yeah. I can't actually believe that happened.
Oh my God. Thank God this was before the era of like smartphones and camera recording.
It would have gone viral though. I reckon that would have gone viral.
Yeah, for the wrong reasons.
No, but it's, any press is good press.
There you go.
Whatnot.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been epic, Clem. You would have been, sweet little blonde girl
singing I Feel Pretty or my brochures.
exactly cancelled
Yeah.
singing lessons.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, thanks for, I guess, helping me going on my
intuition journey.
In my intuition journey. I just think it's so fast. I think it speaks so much to how much something like food, and it's one part of like so many systems that we have in our body, but I think that it can help us to tune inwards, to find, and it's not just about nutritional satisfaction, right? It's about life satisfaction. It's about happiness. It's about contentment. And I think that's, to me, that just, it fills me with so much joy when I have these sort of like conversations. So thank you for following me on my little rant today. My intuitive eating rant.
Clembo.
There we go. I think
wraps us up
for today. So thank you so much for listening. You can catch us on wherever you get your podcasts. And follow us, like, comment. We always love to hear what people have to say.
What we can talk about next.
Exactly. Please don't ask me to sing the song again because I won't. But other than that, we'll see you next week.
All good?
All good.